Welcome to Chic Cafe. I'm Court.
And I'm Bree.
And we're just two moms. I'm a mom of two.
And I'm a mom of four.
And we just, we want to talk about things that we want to talk about that we know you want to talk about. So.
And without getting interrupted, because I know there's moms out there that know what we mean. It's rough some days, girl.
It is.
And I can't. Okay.
And sometimes I can't even have an own thought to myself because my kids are, Mommy.
Yes, 10,000 times a day.
This is good to just,
Honestly, there's so many people out there that are like, oh my gosh, just be so thankful. I am thankful, but let's be real. We are still human at the end of the day. And we still have emotions that are being like, look. I don't know about you, but I think I've told you 1,000 times. When you hired me at the studio, I was really suffering an identity crisis.
Because you're always mom.
Yeah. And I remember going to a mom's group just to get out of the house and whatever. And they would be like, oh, what is your hobby? Taking care of my kids. I don't know. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lose yourself when not that you lose yourself, I guess that wasn't the right word, but you struggle. Because you
struggle.
Get so wrapped up in, I'm a mom and I feel like when you become a mom, society has this certain image on you. You need to be this person. But at the end of the day, we're still people.
Right.
So when you hired me, I was like, you know what? That's great because I can find who I am and I am more than a mom. I am a person.
Absolutely. You're Bree. And you're awesome.
And you're awesome too. But no, really, yes, we live for our kids.
100%.
But we need breaks.
Well, yeah. If we don't take time for ourselves, we're not going to be the best versions of mommy that we can be.
And I think that needs to be more normalized.
Absolutely.
And not being complete. Okay, I am a robot.
Right.
Doing the same things over and over again.
And also, too, can we normalize just being real? Because I am sick and tired. I mean, I love it. I love scrolling on my phone and I love going on TikTok and Instagram. But every time I see the influencers with their perfect, come spend the morning with me, while I'm a stay-at-home mom with my 2 to 3 kids and everything is immaculate. There's no screaming. There's no tantrums.
But what's behind?
Neutral colored, it's just, what is going on?
What's behind the scenes, though? Because if they showed behind the camera.
Come on. And how long did it take you to actually film that? Because
I know we're both guilty of it, though. When we post something, I'm like, wait, go and sweep that dirt up.
Yeah.
Let's go get those laundry out of the camera, you know?
Or I'm cropping things out of my photos so that way I'm not getting judged by them.
Telling the kids, shh, quiet so I can video this. Yeah.
So props to the, I guess, influencers or just, I'm just going to say regular moms who are on TikTok or Instagram who are just showing their regular everyday lives that don't look perfect because that's me, that's you, we're real. And that's why we're doing this podcast because it's so nice to have time for yourself.
And it's important.
Right. And to just talk with your friend about whatever.
Yeah. And I feel like some people really shame them. And it's sad.
Shame on them because I don't have time for that.
Really, though, it's sad. It's again, you're still a person. You're
100%.
And your kids know that you're a real person.
Right.
Let's not hide. And honestly, I'm guilty of it. I feel mom guilt. When I see these videos, I feel
I know.
Wow, I'm crappy.
You're not, though.
I know, but
you're right.
But that's because I feel like these girls have it together when
they don't.
It's just an act.
They don't.
I know.
Or my favorite is when they wake up and they're makeup's done.
Perfect.
They're come wake up and spend a morning with me. And their hair's done. Their makeup's on point. I'm girlfriend, I know you didn't wake up like that.
Let's talk about before we did this.
Mm-hmm.
It was chaos. I did not cook dinner. I'm so sorry. Bryce, thank God for husbands because Bryce totally cooked dinner. I dropped the ball. And
that's okay.
It was crazy at my house. Before I left, Blair was crying because she didn't want me to leave.
Right.
But that's, again,
that's
why.
real life.
That's real life.
That's real life. Just like my kids, Lola was still up. I was trying to put Charlie down. He was ticked off.
Yeah.
I could not go in the room because if he saw me, he would be even more ticked off. So it's like lots of craziness happening.
It is great.
Okay.
It's great.
Good crazy. It's a good problem.
It's a great problem
Mhm.
because, we are fortunate to have these
100%.
But it's also very normal to feel what we feel.
Not everything is perfect, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And we're here for all those moms.
But this is why we do it, so we don't go crazy like the Menendez's mama.
Oh, yeah. Poor kitty.
Is that
Speaking of that.
What's her real name?
Okay, no, her real name's something else, but apparently, okay, I was watching Menendez versus Menudo on, I think it's Peacock. It's very, very good. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It explains everything in depth. But her real name's something else. I don't have the time to remember what it is. But her nickname is Kitty.
On Monsters, though.
No, in real life.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I also want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, on the tombstone where they're buried, it says Kitty Menendez. Yeah. Like, that's what she went by.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah. So anyway.
You're a Lyle or Eric girl?
Lyle girl. No. Eric, you're Lyle.
Well, so I feel like...
What do you feel?
I feel like if Gypsy can get out.
Correct. After 8 years?
That girl needs to be back in. I don't think she's learned anything, but I do think that Lyle, no.
Okay, Lyle's the older one, Eric's the younger one.
Okay, so I think Eric didn't really want to do it.
I don't think either. I just think Lyle, and I could be wrong, he wanted to protect his little brother.
Yeah.
And that was the answer. Because they also felt like their parents were going to hurt them.
So I mean, again, this is in Monsters. This isn't in the actual documentary, but there's so many things going around about them on TikTok and Instagram, but they had said hey, if we didn't do it, then they would get us.
Right. And they probably the parents would have got off and they would have been fine.
Because there was some abuse, there was a lot of abuse happening in a lot more ways than one. And
correct.
The mom was allowing.
Yes. And also the mom was a part of it too.
She sure was.
With Lyle.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
It's just crazy being moms. How do you not only allow it, but how do you become a part of that?
It's almost like because Kitty and Jose met at a young age, she was conditioned to think whatever Jose did or said, that's what goes. So that's what she also knew too. It's almost like, and I'm not defending her in any means, but it's almost like you're conditioned to think that way. So that must be the norm. And then, of course, with Lyle and Eric, they're conditioned, I guess this is the norm. And then that's why things went on between the brothers as well.
But is that true?
That's what Lyle admitted on stand.
I know that the brothers were very upset with the way that Monsters was portrayed versus what actually happened.
Okay, well, they made Lyle look like a complete...
Isn't that awful?
Just
how
jerk.
How awful is that?
Which I don't think he was. I mean, I don't know. I never met them, but...
But imagine being the brothers, living through that.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then having to watch this whole documentary of your life.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be so wrong.
I know. But Ryan Murphy is also very notorious for going all out and also just kind of making things very over the top.
Yeah.
Because he's also the creator of American Horror Story, don't forget. So
true. And that's pretty wild. Listen, I had to stop watching American Horror Story.
Stop.
No, really.
Well, wait, when did you stop? What season? What was it?
Listen, I am a girl that does not like anything scary. I had to stop watching The Walking Dead because I was having nightmares about it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I legit. Yeah,
I didn't
no.
watch it, but I know it's like the zombies, right?
Yes, I was having nightmares that I was like
So-
in a horde. Oh.
Yeah, that stinks. But but what season made you be like, I'm done with this American Horror Story crap?
I think the one where they had a lot of exorcisms in that. What was that?
Wait, are you
Asylum?
Oh my gosh. It was only season 2. There's like 10 seasons.
I know, but it just like messes with my spirit. Like
Gotcha.
I feel so convicted to even like watching that. Like if you ask Bryce to this day, I'm very strict on what I allow to be seen in my house. Like
So wait.
we don't watch scary movies because I feel like
Okay.
it's just not good to allow us and open that up to our family.
Have you seen The Conjuring?
Absolutely not.
God.
The
Okay.
furthest I will go is it.
Wait, let me tell you what happened to me. Do you want to know?
Oh man.
No, it's nothing crazy.
Will I have
You're
nightmares
just,
about it?
No, you're just going to laugh.
Okay.
Okay. So me and my mom and my friend who was visiting Delaware at the time, we went to go see the first Conjuring, okay? This is like 2013, 2014. I was so filled with anxiety watching this movie. I broke out in hives everywhere. And I went to the doctor the next day. I was like, I went to the movies and I was so stressed out. I broke into hives. Is this normal? And they're like, yes.
Is it stress hive?
They were like, don't do that again. Don't subject yourself to that. But like, that's how scared I was. I broke out in hives. Like, who does that? Like,
The human
what
body.
the heck?
Look, coming from a background of working in derm,
Right, yeah.
it is incredible what the human body
It's crazy.
is capable of. I mean, the amount of patients that we would see with these things, like
Wild.
I do remember this one time. It was awful. But I was working with this provider and this man came in and he was like, oh, I'm so itchy from the inside out. And we were like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on. And we did some biopsies on him because usually that's what we did to see to see what was going on, because it could really give us like, oh, okay, it was an allergic reaction or something.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Right, yeah.
Or something. And I remember he came back for his follow-up and she was like, you need to tell me, are you on drugs?
Stop.
And he was like, well, yeah, I mess around with it here and there. We're like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
it's crazy.
Did you say it was an older man?
No,
Younger?
30s.
30s, mid. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, that's our human body. I mean, when Bryce, he got into an accident when he was younger,
Yeah.
and ever since then, I mean, he outgrew it now,
Yeah.
thank God. But he had hives. I remember when we first started dating, I would have to put cool rags all over his body.
But wait,
cool
why would
him
he break
down.
out in hives?
Nobody knew.
Anxiety.
No,
Maybe?
no. I think they called it idiopathic. What did they call it? Idiopathic urticaria or something like that. And it was like basically like an unknown thing of hives. And it was crazy. It was like he had too many histamines or something like that.
Okay.
But any life events can just alter your body.
Speaking of hives, and I don't know if anybody who's listening, maybe they've dealt with this before too. I feel like I might have grown out of it. It hasn't happened in a few years, but when I would get really cold, I would break out in hives. And
Really?
there's a name for it, and it's an autoimmune disorder. So I was talking to my doctor about it. I don't remember the name of it, but you get super, super cold and you break out in hives. And I would break out on my elbows, my knees, the back of my knees, and like on the sides of my like torso, like kind of down to like my glute area.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened in a while, but it is an autoimmune disorder, so I know I still have it. It doesn't go away. It just hasn't activated. But like, that's wild. Like, I'm cold, so here I am. I guess I'm
Getting
just gonna
hives.
break out in hives.
You're
like,
allergic to the cold.
woohoo.
That's what it is.
Well, and there's people that are like allergic to water. Like, how do you shower?
No.
Legit. Like,
I'm telling
they
you.
take a shower and they break out in hives. Like, how do you live?
No, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And I think the say, like, I mean, I think about this even with the human brain going back to like the Menendez and like,
Yes.
and like the psychology of it. We're only, I think our brain is only,
we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah,
I believe.
like-
I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty
I know.
sure.
That's what I was going to say. And it's like, wow, what else? Like,
What
I'm
else
just
can you do?
so curious of what else it's capable of.
I know. But yeah, but like going back to them, like I do feel and this is just a personal opinion, I do feel like time has been served. I'm not making an excuse for, I don't think you should ever kill your parents. Like there's other alternatives. But
why didn't they get the authorities involved? Like, why didn't they go and say like, hey, my parents are doing this?
Because I think and like I said, I'm not saying that this is fact, but I think it was like them thinking nobody would believe them. It would get back to their families. Their parents would do something to them. And I also think when you are conditioned at such a young age to expect this is the norm, this is what we're doing, and you're going to listen to me no matter what, you stick with that. Because Lyle went off to Princeton his freshman year, and then he was going to go off his sophomore year until the crimes were committed. And Jose told Eric, no, you're going to go to college here, but you're going to live at home. And Eric felt like he didn't have any other option. Like he felt like he mentally felt like he could not go off on his own because he was conditioned that way his entire life. So then that's when Lyle stepped in and was like, I'm going to fix this, especially after Eric had told him, hey, Lyle, this is also going on, you know, abuse, whatever.
I think he was like super heartbroken when he found out, because I mean, if this was just in the monsters, I don't know if this was one of the facts or not, that he told his dad to stop. And
who, Eric or Lyle? Eric? Or Lyle told dad, you won't touch it.
You won't touch him. And then he started doing it. No. He said, you need to stop doing this to me. That he started doing to his little brother. And he didn't realize that.
Yeah. He didn't know that was happening for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And then when Eric told him, that's when he was like, that's it. We're ending this.
Yeah.
And I know a big fight happened one night, right? And then they felt like, okay, this is the time. This is when we need to do it, because if we don't do it now, they're going to do it to us.
Yeah, and they said, like, hey, it's either we kill them or they kill us.
Right.
But again, why didn't anybody just go to the authorities? Like,
I don't know.
Is it because, was he really that powerful in his...
And I think it's just
what
because...
did he actually do for his job? Was he
really... He was the head of RCA Records.
Was that real?
Yeah. He was also abusing people in the band Menudo.
Well, look, not for nothing.
Which, by the way, once you hit 18, you're out of that band and they circulate it in other young children.
I think Hollywood.
Oh, that's a whole ring. Yeah,
that
100%.
Is, they aren't as happy as they seem. I mean, you pay a price for being there.
Right.
And, like, for them, psychologically speaking, the Menendez brothers, I mean, and even Gypsy, you know, people who endured all this trauma.
Right.
I couldn't imagine where you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be like, hey, I am at this low of a place. This is what I want to do. And we don't realize how good we have it here.
100%.
You know, coming from not being abused in that way. And I think that America has failed our mental health system.
100%. Those boys should have been put into a mental health institution.
And same with Gypsy.
100%.
I think that
100%.
they should have been watched. And I just think that, you know, like years ago, you know, you say, hey, I have anxiety, I'm feeling depressed, I feel, you know, I have all these things, and you get diagnosed and you were like thrown into the loony bin for it. Where I feel like now we are in 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. Now people are starting to take it a little bit more seriously. Where like even 2 years ago, people are like, "Oh, you're on anti-anxiety meds or anti-depression meds.
Why do you need that?
You're crazy because you're on it."
Or you don't need that.
Yeah,
just go for a walk outside. No, that's not all I need, Susan.
Well, and still to this day, look at how many. I mean, we meet people every day Okay.
Right.
And how many people are like, hey, for this, for anxiety and depression. And it's like, we have to wait. I mean, you hear all these people that have to wait so long to get in to see a therapist, get in to go see a psychiatrist just to get meds. And I just think it's so sad. Like there was a case in, I think, Wisconsin. And this man faked his own death. He had went on a kayaking trip. He left his keys, wallet, phone in his truck. And his wife, of course, reported him missing. And he had kids in high school and elementary school. They spent months looking for him. This happened in August, okay? We were in, November?
Yeah.
Okay, this happened in August. And they had spent, obviously resources on trying to look for this man. And finally, they just got down to it. And they had saw that, number one, he had created a new email. He had transferred $340,000 out of his life insurance.
Very premeditated, all of this, yeah.
To go and transfer it into a foreign bank, okay? The day after he went missing, like, why did he think about this? The day after he went missing, his passport was swiped. So he faked his own death to go to Europe. Like, why couldn't you have just worked it out with your wife or just told her? Like, you think, what felon or what charges are you gonna?
I just feel like that screams, I want out of my marriage, but I'm seeing somebody else in a different country, or maybe not even a different country, and we're just gonna go elope over here.
But how do you?
Because you're living a double life. That's what that screams to me. I mean, because that reminds me of, not reminds me, but it kind of screams like double life with like, are you familiar with like the Lacey and Scott Peterson story?
No.
Oh, dear. They were in California. This happened wild. I know. That's the thing. I feel like this is a theme. This is wild. You're wild.
Yeah.
It was just, he was having an affair, and then the wife died who was pregnant with their son, and she was washed up on the bay, and he had a boat.
Wait,
it's like,
what's that story?
It's just like all too fishy. Listen, I get it. You're having an affair. Tell your wife, it's over. I don't love you anymore.
That story.
You don't need to fake all this stuff, or you don't need to kill people. Like, just be an adult.
It literally, again, which brings us back to the whole mental health.
That's like sociopath, like, because you have no feeling or empathy.
Do you ever think about, this is going to sound crazy, but
what?
Do you ever think about when you pass somebody in the grocery store?
If they're like a psycho killer?
Yeah. Like, I think you pass
everybody?
so many, like, killers in your life.
I think you're right. There's a statistic out there, and if anybody knows it, drop it in the comments. But it's like you pass X amount of serial killers in your life, and you don't even know it.
I actually just passed, like, it's so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but, like, now that this is a topic, I was picking Brooks up for school today because Brody was sick, and I passed a guy in a car, and you know how you come up to like a stop sign, you can see someone's face.
Yeah, but you don't want to like make eye contact, but you see them.
Totally
you see them.
He had a teardrop on his eye, and I'm like,
doesn't that mean you killed somebody?
I think. I'm pretty sure. And I was just like,
interesting.
Wow. Like, but again, like going back to the psychology behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, like I always think about. This is really weird, too.
I'm sure it's not, though, because we're all thinking it. That's why we're doing this.
But I always think about, like, all the people we walk past.
Right.
They all have parents.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but, like...
They're a child of somebody.
But really, they experienced a childhood.
Yeah.
And what happened in their childhood?
I don't know.
Was it good? Was it bad? How did it affect them? So that show that I've been watching lately, that 911 show.
Yeah.
There was this episode of this guy, and he was a crazy hoarder.
Dude, hoarders on TLC. That gets wild. But anyway.
But this guy, he had a brother, and he lived with him. And as he was trying to come into the house, he had tunnels. And
what do you mean he had tunnels? like tunnels of this junk?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had booby traps set up
Why?
because he was very paranoid.
That somebody was going to take his junk?
No, that they wanted to protect the house. Because later in the episode, he was saying like, oh, you know, our parents left us this house.
Mm-hmm.
We need to protect the house.
Okay.
So they need to protect people from coming in and stealing. So it's like, you know, like I just feel like so much empathy for all these people. And then there was another episode that this girl was crazy. She was on a lot of medication.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, all she wanted was love. She wanted somebody to love her because her family abandoned her.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's hard.
know, I just feel like it's so hard for people to empathize.
100%.
But you literally have no idea what these people have been through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why at the end of the day, no matter how hard it is, we need to show love and grace.
100%.
Because that little bit can go a long way.
Yeah.
Because they could have never experienced that, or it could be comforting to them.
Yeah. And circling back to Menendez, I read something about why are so many women and mothers, and especially like millennial women, empathizing or sympathizing with these brothers. And I read that it's because we have that, those of us who are moms, we have that maternal trait. And we just feel so bad, and we just wish they had the childhood that they deserved. And we're like, it's time for them to get out.
But like, being a parent, how... I know I just touched on empathizing, but like, being a mom,
Yeah.
how do you treat your kids that way?
100. Yes.
I was literally crying, and you know I'm not a crier. I am not emotional.
You're not? Are you sure about that?
I am 1,000% positive. You ask anybody in my life, it takes a lot for me to cry, and
I cry by myself. Do you cry by yourself?
it's like I think it's like...
I like to go in my room and shut the door and make sure nobody knows what's going on. I just cry by myself.
Yeah, because you don't want people to see you weep.
Absolutely not. Especially my kids. They don't need to see that crap.
A part of being a mom. I think that as moms, we have to shut off a lot of things.
But you are right. How could Kitty let that happen? Because she knew what was going on. You know what I would have said? I would say to my husband, Joe, guess what? We're going. Goodbye. You can have it all. I don't want your money. I don't want this house.
Yeah.
I just want my kids. And we're going to start over.
But unfortunately...
again, I just think she was conditioned that way her whole life because she met him at such a young age.
And what happened? Did she get abused like that to think that it's normal? Because guess what? The boys think it's normal, don't they?
She was probably abused by him ever since they were together. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just really sad. And I just think 35 years in jail, it's enough. It's
look, if Gypsy can get out,
right,
and walk the streets, what's different for them? If she, look, I don't think Gypsy has changed. I think that if she can get out, then so can they.
Well,
but I think
that's the thing. They've served 35 years. Come on.
But I still think that what they did is wrong because
100%. I don't.
Murder is wrong.
No. We're not killing our
what.
parents. No, we're not doing that. We're not killing anybody.
But I'm just saying, like, I still don't think Gypsy should be out. I think she needs to go back in. I think that she needs some serious help. And that's okay. Because guess what? You know, again,
she's got that baby on the way, too. And it's a girl. It's a girl.
And if you want to get better, it better be for that baby.
Yeah.
Or is she going to repeat the steps that her mom did to her?
No.
You know, and I think that that's a lot of it, too. As parents, I mean, I know sometimes, and I love my mom. My mom is incredible. And my mom is one of my closest friends. You know, I FaceTime her every single day. She's who I go to first for everything. But sometimes when I yell at my kids, I hear my mom in me.
Oh, I hear my mom too, especially when I bend down to pick something up. I'll be like, oh, Joe, did I just look like my mom picking that up?
You know what's really funny?
Like, oh, I feel like my mother.
Do you FaceTime your mom?
But my mom's beautiful, so I hope I look like her one day.
I know. My mom is beautiful too. And it's so funny because when my mom FaceTime every day, right? Usually in the morning, every morning. If you guys saw me and my mom together, you would say, oh my gosh, you guys are twins. But it's so funny because I wear, like, sometimes, especially in the winter, I wear a robe, right? It's cold, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
So-
wearing a robe when I was getting ready today because it was cold.
So I'm like blind as a bat without my glasses, and my mom wears her glasses. And when we FaceTime in the morning, we have our morning coffee together in our robes, in our in our glasses, in our hair up in a bun together.
That's so cute.
We look like twins.
Aww.
And it's so cute, but it's so funny because I'm like, I'm looking into a reflection,
I know.
and it's my mom,
I know.
and she says the same thing, and
I
she's
know.
like, "Oh my gosh, we're twins."
Well, it's funny because my whole life I used to look like my dad growing up. And now I'm starting
that. I can
now
see
I'm
your dad.
starting to look more like my mom. And it's funny because Bryce was just taking pictures of us. So I was like, Joe, who do I look like there? There's my mother.
No, I can
there
totally
I am.
see your mom.
It's me. Well, it's funny. If you look at my license, I went and got my license updated last fall. So it's been a year now. And I took the picture and I think I just saw, I'm pretty sure I'm smiling with my mouth closed. I'm not showing any teeth.
Yeah.
And that's when I notice I really look at my mom when I smile with my mouth closed. I get my ID and I just give it to Joe. I'm like, who is this? And he goes, it's your mother. You are Julie. I said, well, at least I look good because she looks good.
She does
My
look
mom
good.
looks real good.
She
Everybody
does.
thinks we're sisters.
I could see it.
And if I can look like Jules' baby, okay, it's Jules' baby XOXO. We love her. That's her nickname. If I can look like her at her age, I'll be happy.
No, you guys do look like sisters.
I love it. We were at Burgers and Brews the other day, and those people that we always see,
Yeah, the
God
older women.
yeah, God bless them. They are
You know
so
what?
cute.
Let that be us when we're older.
Right. I hope so.
I do
hope
too.
so. They're so cute. They were like, I saw that your mom and dad were your friends, and I was like, oh, wait till I tell them that. They're gonna love it.
Yeah, but your mom does look really young.
She's got good genes. She's got
Well,
good
what does that
genes.
mean for you?
Well, hopefully,
You have good
well,
genes.
I hope I get to. I mean,
You have them. You guys look good. But I do think you look a lot like your dad.
I do look a lot like my dad. I
Yeah.
have so my dad's
And thank
side of
your
the
dad
family.
for serving our country.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. 24 years.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. He's awesome. My dad's side of the family, I do look more like my dad's side of the family. Like if you were to see my dad's sister and
Yeah.
me stand next to each other, especially now that I went back dark with my hair color. I mean, I've been like this for a few years now. We look a lot alike. And it's funny because we kind of have the same body shape. We're
Yeah.
about the same height. We have the same mannerisms. So like me and my Aunt Nikki, shout out to my Aunt Nikki. She is gorgeous too. Love her. Yeah, we look a lot alike. Yeah, she's fun.
I love it.
I
Your whole
love it
family's
too.
fun.
I know, but a lot of them live in Ohio, and I wish they lived
Do you get
here.
homesick?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I grew up in Nebraska.
Yeah. Is
Since
it cold there?
well, you get all the seasons.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's be real. You get summer, and it's hot, and you get winter, and you get inches
Snow.
and inches of
Yeah.
snow, right? Feet of snow. It takes a lot to cancel school. Like, we get a dusting here, and it's like, oh, school's canceled. But, like, spring is mild, fall is mild, but, like, you really get that, you know, the summer and the winter. But I do miss Nebraska in the sense of people are just a lot nicer there.
They say that about the South.
Well, it's Midwest, so Midwest,
Yeah.
South. And I
Do they have accents?
No, I mean, okay, Joe will tell me that, like, oh, you sound like your aunt or whatever, because, like, sometimes my A's are elongated. Like, I'll say apple, or I'll say
Apple.
ask. Like, but it comes
Isn't
out
that-
funny. Like, I don't actually, like, say it all the time, or I'll be like, coffee. Like, it's
Wait,
weird.
That's Oh, what is that? That's
The Midwest?
No.
Oh, that's where I'm from. Shout out to
Canada?
anybody who's in the Midwest. That's like, oh, okay, you know?
Oh,
Like Minnesota, Wisconsin,
Yes,
Canada, because
yeah.
that borders.
yeah, okay.
But
How cute. Wow.
speaking of people just being nicer in the Midwest, can we talk about just like people acknowledging like
Yeah.
the thank yous or the I can't or
Oh,
no
my
thank you?
gosh.
Can we just like, what is going on?
Is it our age? Because I'm going to tell you something. Like, look, if you, I've come across this, and I think I have said to Bryce so many times, it is it is a pattern. When people can't or they want to say no, why ghost?
Yeah,
Why
what is
can't
up with
you
the
just say,
ghosting?
no, thank you?
Yes,
Or
that's what I need.
like, why not reply? Is it because we're in a society now where we're so used to being behind a screen? And we're
Maybe.
so used to being
Maybe.
like, okay, I can ignore them and I don't have to deal with them. And then if I see them at the grocery store, guess what? I'll just run the other way. Like,
Because the thing is, you make it more awkward when you don't give a response versus when
it's
you do.
rude.
Like, I dealt with, as a business owner,
I have an
I've
amazing dance
had-
studio, center stage, just saying.
We have a lot of fun there. It's
We do.
great.
I
Send
love
your
it.
littles there. We
Thank you
love
for
it.
hiring me.
Thank you for wanting to stay with us, because I think I would cry if you ever came up to me and you're like, Corey, I have to leave. And I'd be
Stop
like,
it.
what the heck?
You gave me my identity back.
Oh,
I
well,
mean it.
I love you and the kids love you. And that's the most
And
important
I
thing.
love you guys and the girls.
You the
My
best.
favorite part is watching them grow. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I love it too.
Me too.
It's so exciting. But like, as a business owner, like if somebody comes, in and checks us out or whatever, and then if I like reach back and I'm like, hey, like just checking in, and
Yeah.
I don't get a response back, I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's okay. It's totally okay if it's a no. Like, my studio's not going to fit for everybody, and I get that. Like, it's okay. It's
like,
totally fine.
Don't you feel bad? Like, honestly, if I don't respond, I mean, you get this because we're moms.
Are you talking about like texting?
If I don't respond to somebody
Yeah.
right when they text, I feel bad.
So
So why don't people respond?
Right.
Like here's my thing. If people are being kind enough to reach out to you, and especially out of business, and especially for like, I don't know, maybe we were just raised that way.
maybe.
Is it that it's, again, this, I don't know. I just think it's so rude.
I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's the way you were raised, and I think it's just how you are innately. Like, I'm a person that worries a lot, genuinely. I do. And I know you do too.
We're people pleasers. That's
We
why.
are people pleasers.
Yeah.
But like, I grew up where my mom would be like, okay, after a birthday party or Christmas, like a day or two after, my mom would be like, okay, this is the list of the things that people got you. We're going to send out thank you notes. Okay, whatever. That's how I grew up.
You're very organized, because I can tell you I've never sent a thank you note a day in my life. But that doesn't mean I'm not grateful. I just am not organized.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead.
And like, and with technology today and everything, like thank you notes are becoming obsolete. Like, I totally get it. Like, people are just jumping on FaceTime or calling or whatever. But like, that's just how I was raised. That's fine.
Right.
Okay. Some people were raised like that. Some people are not. There's no right or wrong. Like, it is what it is. I just think it's but like, even if you weren't raised to write a thank you note, you were probably still raised to say thank you. Pick up the phone, call somebody.
So having friends
Yeah.
that are single.
That are single?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So having friends that are single.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much anymore, but I guess
I know. I feel like a lot of our
friends,
friends are married.
they are, but going through this with them years ago,
Yeah.
like girls that I used to be really close with, before I had kids.
Yeah.
Because, when you have kids and get married,
It's different. It's different.
the
Even
vibe,
when you just get married, it's
the
different.
vibe changed.
And you know who your OGs are. Because I can tell you something. Shout out to my girls, Lauren and Monica. Because no matter what, we live in different states. They're always there for me, and I'm always there for them. Just like, I'm always there for you.
And I'm always there for you, too.
And that's just the way it's going to be. But some people, it's not like that.
And it sucks because, man, when I
know.
got married,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of friends. And
Well.
and
Too bad for them.
when I had kids,
Yeah.
man, it got even worse. And again, like I think I told you before,
Yeah.
I went through a lot of friend
hard.
hurt because I'm like, okay, I lost friends
Mm-hmm.
when I had gotten married and had kids. We were on different levels. That's okay.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. It's absolutely fine.
But then when I started seeing these same people
Mm-hmm.
be there for other girls that are having kids and getting married, I was like, what's different? But that's okay, because you know what? I really, truly believe, and I still, to this day, genuinely love every single one of those girls.
Mm-hmm.
and I wish nothing but the best for them, that we have people in our lives at certain
Reasons and seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
and you have them when you need them
Right.
and to help you through certain things. And
100%.
that's okay. Again, that doesn't mean that there's any...
There's no bad blood.
No,
It's
just you outgrow people, and that's okay.
Right.
And I still love them, and I still love, every single person that has been in my life to be here now through my marriage and my motherhood. And, we're too old.
I know. It's silly.
And we are too grown to have any bad blood with anybody.
Right.
And it's a shame. That's okay.
Yeah. And the thing is like, you don't need to be friends with them. Like, you don't have to like hang out with them or call them or text them every day. But you don't need to wish ill will on
Absolutely
them.
not.
Because
And
we
you
don't have
still-
time for that.
And guess what? We still can support them
100%.
and send so much love to them
Right.
from afar.
Right.
And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, going back to like people not responding. Because
It's rough.
going back to that, like there's been so many times where I've reached out to people
Mm-hmm.
and they've just given nothing. And that's okay.
Yeah, no, but it's not when it's like your wedding or something.
Well,
That's wrong.
Well, I've never had that. But,
Or like,
but then again, Bryce and I got married.
yeah, but
when-
your situation was different.
We got married when I was...
You were what, 19?
So I got engaged when I got engaged when I was, 18.
See, I'm just making things up now.
No. I got pregnant when I was 19.
That's what okay. I knew
Yes.
19 was sticking out for
And
some
then I got
reason.
married when I was 20.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If you look at our wedding pictures, it's really cute because Brody was in my belly.
Oh.
Yeah.
We love Brody.
Yeah, he's incredible. But yeah, like how do people just not respond? I mean, even with like inviting them places, or like not even that, just like
Like a general, hey, this is what's going on.
or hey,
Yeah,
how
let me
are
know.
you?
Oh, I know.
I'm like genuinely trying to be involved and just see how you're doing because
Right.
I still love you.
Right, absolutely.
Or
And don't ever feel bad, like, if you don't respond to me right away.
we have kids,
I know.
okay, and
I
they're
know.
young. You have 2 under 2,
It was so crazy. Well, one's about to be 3.
but I'm telling you. So my boys, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're 1 year apart.
I know, just
Actually-
like Lola and Charlie.
Actually, they're 1 week shy of being a year apart. So when Brody was 3 months old,
Mm-hmm.
I remember oh my
Were you like,
gosh.
holy?
I remember my mom watched my Brody for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wait until St. Patrick's Day. I remember this so vividly. I was like, all right, if I don't see anything until St. Patrick's Day, then I'm gonna test.
Right.
And I walked into my mom's house to go get Brody.
Mhm.
And I walked right past her, went to the bathroom, and I pulled the test out of my pocket. And I took it. I saw it in there, and I just kept thinking, oh my gosh. I put it right back in my pocket. And my mom is my best friend. I put it right back in my pocket. I said, thank you for watching Brody, and I walked right out. I didn't even tell her.
Well, you didn't tell her?
Didn't
I
even
would have
tell
told
her.
my mom.
So then I got back to my house, and I called my mom. I said, Mom, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
So it's about like half hour later.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, as amazing as she is, she said, it's okay.
Yeah.
I support you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember telling Bryce, and he was as equally excited to hear the news as he was when I
Yeah,
first got pregnant
for
with Brody.
sure.
And that support meant the world. Now, mind you, we didn't always have the greatest support from our family. My mom was always very supportive. Bryce was always very, very supportive. But we did have other family members that were not supportive through all of our pregnancies. And that's okay, because guess what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the only family that really matters is someone like you create.
Absolutely. The family that you
You're
create.
going to hear it.
Yeah. The family that you
That's okay.
create is the most important. That is now your unit. That is your tribe. That is what comes first.
Yeah. I think, so, I was 19 when I found out I was pregnant with Brody. He was 3 months, so I had him in October. And then I had Brooks also in October. And I remember when I had Brooks, I was planning Brody's first birthday party in the hospital. When I was pregnant with Brody, I had, man, it was rough. I cried. Even though that's
when you were
what I
pregnant with
wanted.
Brody?
Yes, with my first one.
What
cried.
was going on?
Where I worked, I had a group message started about me.
The germ? Okay.
I had a group message started about me.
Saying?
Because I was not married yet, even though I was engaged.
Oh, okay. That's right, because you were engaged.
I did not deserve a baby.
Huh?
I remember crying.
That's so wrong.
Crying, and I just did not even want to talk about it. And, it's like, there's so many people that get pregnant and announce their pregnancy announcements, and it's great, and it seems all dandy on the other side. But, like, again, you have no idea what people are facing on the other side, which is why, like, social media is so fake.
Social media is very fake.
So don't get wrapped up in it.
And that's, like, one of the other reasons why I love doing this podcast with you, because we are keeping it real, and I'm not going to tell you that my life is perfect, and I'm not also going to say, oh, no, I didn't yell at my kids today or want to pull out my hair, because I absolutely did.
And that's okay.
Like, literally, when you came over, I was in a crappy mood because I was having a rough mental day. I was having a rough day with my kids. And then, but it was nice. As soon as you came over, I did feel better because, like, you're one of my best friends, and it's nice to decompress.
Because you need that
I need my
separation.
Time. 100%. And, like, they're sleeping right now, which is wonderful. And you know what's so funny? I miss them.
You know what?
It's so fun.
It is so funny because that is exactly how it goes. It's like soon as much as you feel crazy that day.
I know.
You miss them as soon as they go to sleep.
I know. I said that to Joe the other day. I said, I miss Charlie. I really want to wake him up, but I'm not going to because he needs to sleep, Avi.
And, I still check to make sure my kids are breathing.
Me too. Oh, my God. And if I can't see the back moving, I put my palm on there. And if they flinch, I'm like, okay, you're alive.
Yes.
And then Lola's at an age where I can just go in her room and I can see her, whatever. And sometimes she'll, like, sleep talk, but she's, like, half awake, half asleep. She's like, Mommy, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. Goodbye. Okay, good night. Like, I just love it. Like, I just care so much.
Yes, and it's just like, man, how can people just be so happy?
Right, when it circles back to Menendez, like, what the heck?
And you know what? And Gypsy, because I feel like it all circles back to selfishness.
Absolutely.
They wanted to be the spotlight. And it's like, and I feel like we all are so hard on ourselves as parents. We aren't doing enough. We aren't spending enough time with them. We aren't being supportive enough. But
right.
It's like, I feel like because we care so much, we are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
I know.
There's these people out there that just, like, don't care at all. And, like, broke my heart the other day. I beat him at a game, and he was so upset about it. He's 7, okay? He was so upset.
Was it like a board game?
Yes, and it broke my heart. But guess what? He needs to learn it's okay to lose in life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's like,
I know.
Gosh,
I know. But, like, circling back to that, like, I don't know why this always pops up in my head. But, like, I was on TikTok scrolling, and it was like, tell me you're a crappy parent without telling me you're a crappy parent or whatever. And this was coming from, like, a daycare worker. And she was like, I cannot tell you how many times, and this broke my heart. I cannot tell you how many times parents will send their kids to daycare in a soiled diaper that you can tell that was from the night before. That they did not. How do you not just get your kid ready for the morning? You get yourself ready. You don't have time to get your kid ready to drop them off to daycare. Like, that broke my heart. Like, As soon as my kids wake up, Lola, let's go to the bathroom. Lola, let's get changed. Charlie, okay, change him. Da, 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 da. Before they sit down for breakfast, they are a new human being ready to rock and roll.
But you know what I think the problem is?
What?
A lot of people forget that they're little people.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times people think, oh, I'm just their ruler.
Ugh.
And I mean, do you remember that story from that girl?
What girl?
I don't remember where she's from. She went to vacation in Puerto Rico with a guy.
Oh, man.
And she left her 18-month-old.
Oh, no. Oh, I know what you're talking about. What the? She's in jail. As she should be. 100%.
Like,
sick.
Do you know that
sick?
Blair?
She left her with like 3 bottles of milk.
And do you know what the worst part is? Okay, so here's my thing. This happened not long ago, so Ring cameras are a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, neighbors heard her screaming. Why didn't they call the cop? Hey,
that's a good question.
Baby is screaming. Can you go do a well check?
So how did they find out?
They finally went to go check on her. And she was
dead by then, right? Deceased?
Yeah. But like, who in the, like, and this is again, circling back to
it's
the
mental
health.
It's mental. It's all mental. Not a sane person does that. Like, why wouldn't you ask somebody to chur if you're going to go on vacation?
But not only that, don't go.
Right.
Who thinks that it's okay to leave with a few bottles and they were going to be okay being in a playpen? 18-month-old. That's Charlie and Blair's age, okay? Because
that is. They're almost...
Our kids are only, a week and a half apart?
Yes, they're about 20 months now. Yeah,
Like...
Crazy.
It's just so heartbreaking to think about what that child went through.
I know.
Because, again, they're little people.
Mm-hmm.
They're little humans that have feelings and, like...
They were probably so scared, too.
I mean, you know how Charlie and Blair are. They love their mamas.
I know. Like, I was just saying to Joe, I was like, Joe, you have to go in and check on him because as soon as he sees me, it's endgame. I want my mommy and I want to hold on to my mommy until I fall asleep. And it's like, oh, baby boy, but I don't have time to do that right now. If I did, absolutely. But,
It is nice. I know that man in the mornings. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
The snuggles.
Well, the thing is Lola was never a cuddly baby.
Really?
Never. From the moment she was born, like, she didn't mind the occasional whatever. But, like, she never wanted to be held. She was like, oh, get off, like Cher from Clueless. Ew, get off me. Yeah. She wanted her space. She's always been a little independent woman. Then when we had Charlie, his happy place is either being held by mommy or daddy. And his big thing is he wants to straddle you while he hugs you and watches his favorite show, which is
best though.
Danny Go.
No greater
Shout out to Danny Go, Mindy Mango, and all them. He loves you. But like, literally, that's what he could do all day. Straddle me, hold on to my neck, watch Danny Go, and he's set. He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't need to drink. He just needs mommy and Danny Go. And I'm just like,
You took him to go see Danny Go, right?
We did. This past July. So he was, I don't know, maybe 15, 16 months.
So what is that? Like a year and
a half-ish over the hump there. And then Lola was, she's 2, so maybe 2.5. And it was in D.C. area, and they did really, really good considering not being in their element.
Well, they're constantly being stimulated.
Yes,
though.
and I was very proud of Lola because she went on her little. We packed her little potty, and she went potty on that little potty every time. I think she only had one accident.
Hey,
thank goodness.
That's like the in thing. These potties on the go.
Yeah,
so
it's
many
great.
People say, "Hey, you got a car potty?" I'm like,
my mom does
what
it.
What is that?
So my mom does it. She brings her car potty, and like if she needs to go potty, she does it in my mom's trunk. But I have one of those collapsible like potty seats that you can put on top of the seats. So if you're in like
on top of the
like
seat in the car.
No, on top of the seat in the restroom.
Okay, so that it's not as germy.
So it's not germy and it fits to them, and you're not dealing with that paper thing that you pull. And
I
then
teach Bella to line it. I'm like, line the potty with the stuff,
because they're too little to squat. You know, they can't squat
They don't understand it quite yet.
But they did really good, and they cracked me up because, you know, we were like 4th or 5th row.
Yeah.
So they sat, and Charlie sat on Joe's lap the entire time, and he was just glued to the whole show. And then Lolo's cracking me up because halfway through, she's like, I need my lip gloss.
Okay.
I need to like refreshen up for this show. I'm like, you were 2 years old. Calm
well,
down.
Girl, just like tonight when I came over, she's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your curled hair. She's like, yeah, but my lipstick is gone.
Because she took it off. She was like, it's messy. I can take it off.
She wants to be glamorous, but she doesn't want to be glamorous.
I know.
I get it.
You know, but
I mean, don't we like to take our makeup off and our lashes off after a long day? Like,
yes,
it's totally great.
Before I go to bed, all of this will be coming off, and it's going to be great.
Hair up.
I don't know when the next time I'll put my face on, but it'll be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny Go is great. So shout out to Danny Go and Mindy Mango, who is his wife. We love them.
I love it.
And they just came out with a new video, and he's obsessed. It's called like Candy Cane Crush or something. I don't know, but
for Christmas. Is that
kind
what
of,
it's for? Yeah,
I think kind of. But he's obsessed with it, and it's the cutest thing because he looks at me after it's done. He's like, again. I'm like, okay, and I can't do it fast enough because he gets ticked off when I don't do it right away. But it's fun, you know. But then again, like just circling back, like I do anything for my kids. So it's like with Menendez, like
I know, girl. Listen,
And by the way, Cooper Koch, if you're ever listening to us, you can come on our podcast anytime because you playing
this is your girl
Eric in Monsters was wonderful.
Which I still don't know to this day how you don't think that he looks just like.
No, he doesn't. I don't think. Okay, listen. I don't think
the real one.
I don't think Cooper Koch looks like Eric Menendez, and I don't think
if
Nicholas Alexander Chavez looks like Lyle.
If you agree with me, please drop in the comments.
That's fine. But I think it's hard.
Think they look identical.
I think it's hard to find people who are actors who look just like who they're supposed to be portraying.
Really?
I do.
I don't know. I'm telling you, when I saw,
I just don't. I see 4 different people.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw maybe it's the hair. Maybe.
I mean, I will say I think all 4 of them as individuals.
I mean, I haven't seen the real parents though.
Lyle, Cooper, and what's his name, Nicholas.
This girl.
I don't know. It's the teacher. It's the teacher. Me. I think they're all beautiful individuals. However, I don't think they look anything alike. And I don't think Chloe looked like Kitty.
Chloe,
the lady who played Kitty. I don't think they look anything alike.
Okay.
Except the hair. And I think Javier.
Who's Javier?
The dad. He plays the dad.
In real
They're
life?
probably the most look-alike.
Wait, her last name was Jose.
Okay, Jose is the dad in real life, and Javier is the actor who plays him.
Okay, I'm following. Okay.
Yeah, just like go on Google or something.
You're like the Menendez expert, and I love that.
I'm not, though.
No, I love it because if I have questions, I come to you.
I just empathize with them. And, and then the DA for, their case or whatever, for the LA, whatever,
Are they in California?
Yes, George Gascon. He lost the election, and the Republican came in. I forget what his name is, but he said, their case is at the top of my list, and I'm just hoping they can get freed by the summer because they were supposed to get freed by Thanksgiving,
November,
and
right?
now it's not happening because Gascon thought he was going to win the election, right? We all thought he was going to, but then we saw this red wave come through with a lot of things, and then the Republican took office for the LA district attorney, which is fine, whatever. And now he has to review everything.
Right.
But it seems hopeful though. So fingers crossed.
Listen, if Gypsy can get out, then I think they have a good chance because that girl, I mean,
and poor Ryan. If you disagree with me, that's fine.
No,
but
I do feel bad because I think that like speculation of that baby being his, and
But it's not. It's not. No.
I had seen him come on TikTok.
Not that I'm the doctor, but it's not.
What is this? This is Jerry. Well, what is it? You were not the father.
Oh, Maury. Oh my gosh. Where you stay homesick from school? I'm like, let me turn on Maury. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
But no, I've seen him on TikTok and he's like, look, this child is not mine.
No, it's not.
And okay. He knew what he was getting into when he was
100%.
writing to her in prison.
But I think he genuinely loved her, though. I really do.
Dude, let's talk about how similar he looks to her mom.
Yes, and her.
That's a trauma
Ken,
response.
It is. And Ken, her new fiance, looks very similar to her father.
Dude, they have a past. Because when they got together, it seemed like they had a past.
So Ken and Gypsy were together. And then he broke up with. Yes. And then he broke up with her. And then Ryan came along.
Oh.
And she told Ryan on that documentary that they were doing for, God, I don't know what network it was on, but I was watching it on the YouTube platform. She told Ryan, I miss Ken. I miss my ex. And he's like, Jesus, here we go.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel. Like, what do you want me to say, Gypsy? You know what I mean? And I do think it's weird that Ryan does look like her mother and Ken does look like her father.
Again, that's that trauma response because you got to think of what is normal.
I know.
Oh, I mean, you have to think about all the people, again, coming back to like the empathy of people that you see on the street. What have they all been through?
I know. And how many psycho killers are you walking past?
I'm telling you, watching this 911 show, which is so phenomenal. Man. And I grew up in that field because my dad has been the chief of a fire company in Pennsylvania.
So he's seen some shit.
Yeah. But I have experienced that whole, we're eating dinner, there's a call, we need to leave.
Yeah.
And my oldest brother, him and I are 10 years apart. He joined the fire company for a little bit. So I've also experienced the, hey, you and your brother, which my other brother and I are 4 years apart, do not look out the window. And I can't tell you how I used to sit and watch for my dad's feet to see him because all the fire trucks and the ambulances and all the cops are in the way. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh my gosh, Dad, just please let me see your feet come out of that burning building. Like it was so like, I think I just grew up so attracted to that stuff. Like for sure. Before I started having kids, I was in school for nursing.
Yeah.
And
you'd be a great nurse.
Not right now.
Okay, but I'm just saying in general.
Thank you.
Because you're very good with people.
Thank you. I think my heart is too tender now.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just, I've always wanted to help people, and I love listening to people's stories.
Yeah.
And I love when people open up. I actually thought about being a therapist for a long time, but I've seen too many scary movies.
I think you would be a great therapist.
I know, but you've seen too many bad endings. Mm-hmm. So I kind of was like, let me figure out something else.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, after
I got you.
After my time of being a stay-at-home mom is done.
Right.
Which is not right now.
No, you have a while to go.
Yes, which I love, and I'm very thankful for. I'm so thankful that I have a
and
husband.
Maybe Charlie and Blair will go to school together.
Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
We could. But this world, man.
Speaking of scary in this world, I want to circle back to the, you walk past serial killers, whatever. Weird story. You want to hear it? Of course, I cannot believe I've never told you this before. So I cannot remember what the book is called. And if I figure it out, I'll announce it on the next podcast. I'll do my research because I read it in high school. My English teacher gave it to me. It was very, very interesting. So I told you I grew up in Nebraska, right? My dad was in the Air Force. We were at Offutt Air Force Base. My dad worked with this very nice lady. She was a secretary. Her name was Judy. She was wonderful. I do think she did pass away. She was older. She was the sweetest. So Judy was still working at Offutt Air Force Base, and there was this airman, and his name was John Jubert, and John Jubert was a serial killer. at Offutt Air Force Base.
Is it crazy how you remember these?
I know. He kidnapped little boys.
That's so close to home.
Yes, and would do it at the Air Force Base. Kidnap them there at the Dairy Queen. Oh my God. So I used to live in this pink house, right? On Madison Street. And if you go all the way up Madison Street and you make a little left, there's a Dairy Queen.
Okay.
He used to kidnap the boys at Dairy Queen and then take them. I think he's probably dead. I don't know. No, Judy passed. This guy, I think he got the death penalty or not. I'm not sure.
So he got caught?
Oh, yeah, he got caught because he had things from like the military that only military people would have, like certain ropes and things like that. But Judy told my dad, I would never know. He would come into work every day, say hello, nicest man ever. So again, you never know. Isn't that crazy?
Unfortunately, this is why I don't go grocery shopping.
Oh, I do Walmart delivery. I'm not doing any of that. Not with my children.
That.
Yeah, I can't take my children anywhere because I'm vulnerable. As a single woman, unless Joe goes with me with the kids to do like a big haul or something, I cannot take them by myself, especially being the age that they are. If they're like in middle school, high school, that's different. But I have a 2-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. You think I'm going anywhere with them by myself, especially to load groceries where I'm most vulnerable in the parking lot?
We
Absolutely
live
not.
in such a different time than we grew up in.
It's very scary.
No, it's scary, but it's so sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
That our kids can't experience what we experience.
Normalcy.
In the sense of like,
normalcy.
Hey, I'm going to go hang out with my kids until the streetlights are on.
Right.
Or not my kids, my
that's
friends.
That's a thing of the past. That will never be what it was.
We
never.
live in a neighborhood, okay? There's this house like diagonal from us. And I swear, like the block, that's where all the kids hang out. And I'm telling you, they hang out until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I would never, ever, like, maybe I'm overprotective, but guess what? I'd rather be overprotective than sorry one day.
Right.
Because you hear too many stories, and I literally pray over my kids every night. Brooks today. Oh my gosh, this is my sensitive heart. Now you know I don't cry. I'm telling you I don't cry. He told me, I was watching him play on the playground today as I'm trying to go in the pickup line. And these friends are running away from him.
Mm.
And like, Brooks is a pretty athletic kid, really outgoing, really funny. I swear he's going to do stand-up comedy one day. He loves to make people laugh. And he got in the car and he said to me, Mom, I don't have many friends. Oh. You know what? It's okay. I said, because the friends that you do have, make sure they're quality.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It's quality over quantity.
And it's just like, it's okay because you don't know what these people are going to grow up and do. I mean,
yeah, you have no idea.
Brody got homeschooled last year because the bullying was out of control. I mean, people threatened him to end his life.
And the fact that that's happening in early elementary school, that like blows my mind. Like kids even would know how to like threaten other kids with that.
Threaten to end at the time, he was 7-year-old's life. How do you think like that at 7?
You're learning it from home. At that age, you have to be. Like, where else are you getting that from?
Problem is that nothing was done about it.
Exactly. I was about to say, what was done? Nothing.
Nothing. I had to pull my children out of school.
Mm-hmm.
And I look like the crazy person because, I mean, I get it. The school can only do so much. There's so many kids in the school. I get it. But if that were in middle school or high school, it would have been treated different.
Probably, yeah. Because they're more capable of actually.
They're still capable at this age.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
It's just.
But in their eyes, they would see it as like, oh, they're more capable in middle school or high school. They're just little kids. They're going to say this. They're going to say, yes, it is treated very differently.
But like, you are who you are from what you experience. what you hear and what you see. And yeah, but just in general, like, I mean,
I'm a core
even,
believer of that.
yeah, I mean, it's not, the teachers do a phenomenal job. I have so much heart for these teachers because they have to deal with these repercussions of these kids because the parents are failing them.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I know. I taught for 6 years.
How did you do it? You taught what, 11th grade?
10.
10th grade.
I loved my kids.
You were English teacher.
Yes, I loved my kids to death. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I would. Like, in the same circumstance. Would I do it again right now? No, because I'm in a different position in my life and everything, and I have my own kids, and I have the studio and things like that. But would I go back in time and do it again? Absolutely, because I loved it. But I will say, once COVID hit, everything was different. I had more fun teaching my first year, which should have been my most stressful year, and it wasn't, versus teaching after COVID.
Because you had to, did you do remote?
We did remote. Yeah, we did remote when COVID hit from like April until, so COVID happened in March, but then we went remote in April all the way to June. And then that next school year was pretty much all remote until January. You could opt in to go a few times a week. And then the year after that, then it was all in person, but we still had to wear masks and everything had to be done on the Chromebook so we weren't touching things. And you know what I mean? So it just messed everything up. But, you know, and then I ended up being pregnant with Lola and I didn't go back. And then we opened up the studio. But it was just a different time. Like, kids were just different when I started teaching versus, and not saying that I didn't love them as much as I loved my first year. It was just the way that, you know, things were handled and it was just different.
You know, as you know, Bryce and I raised a teenager.
Right.
We got her when she was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Got her off to college, which is Bryce's sister, and love her to death. She's amazing.
Right.
She's the closest thing that I have to a sister. But dealing with her and the friends that she had,
Yeah.
it showed a lot of entitlement.
We're done.
We're done. What
We're
do we
done.
say?
Are we supposed to say?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening to our first episode of our podcast. Got it. All right, hold on. Let's do it again. Thank you guys so much for listening to our first podcast. Please like and share, and we will be back. Thank you.
We're super excited.